And this one you all know is coming. Do you support the school improvement referendum, and why or why not? And do you support the aquatic center?
Yes, ma'am. I do support the bond referendum. Being a volunteer in our schools, I see the desperate shape that a lot of our schools are in. I see the overcrowding. I see the poor facilities. We need better. We need more, and unfortunately, that costs money, and that money is usually going to come from our tax dollars. So, do I want my taxes raised? No, I do not. But I do want a decent place for my child to be educated in. And as far as the aquatic center goes, it is a nice luxury item that would be okay to have, but right now I just don't think our economy, or I don't support it. No, not right now.
Thank you, Mr. Farnsworth.
Absolutely. So the first part of the question, do I support the bond referendum? Yes, 100%. And let me tell you why. We have class sizes in our district that are approaching 30 plus. We have 177 trailers. And when you add those together, those don't make for a world-class education system. My vision, just like the district and Mr. Pye have set out on, is to take a good school district and go to great, and then go to world-class. So if we want to focus on that, we really need to put some time, energy, and resources into our infrastructure. So absolutely I support the bond referendum. As for the aquatic center, I'll be perfectly honest with you, I'm going to leave that one up to the voters of Dorchester County. I 100% support community growth opportunities, and I look forward to that. I like the idea of an aquatic center. I want to dig into and make sure that partnership between the YMCA and the school district is in everybody's best interest, is in the taxpayers' interest, is in everybody's interest. So before I put my yes or no on that one, I've got to dig into it and make sure. So I'll leave that one to the voters.
Thank you. Mr. Smith?
Y'all, let's think about this. We've heard this term thrown throughout this whole debate, world-class education. We know that if we do not have a world-class education, do not give our kids a world-class education, we'll fall behind. Dorchester District 2 has developed a system that is good, solid. Y'all need to be applauded for the system we have. Now, we have 177 trailers with kids. We were just talking after this afternoon about being wired. Tell me, how can we wire 177 trailers to get them into what we call, quote, unquote, a world-class education? Infrastructure. We go through several of our schools, they're falling apart, air conditioners. And I do know for a fact that if I don't treat my air conditioning, if I don't do it, it's going to go broke. And if I have to fix it, and if you patch it up long enough, you're going to have to get a new one. Thank you, sir. You're going to have to get a new one. So our infrastructure in Dorchester County, a lot of schools is falling apart. We have 500 to 1,000 new students every year coming into this beautiful city. And we need to keep our education system up to par. Now, I hadn't even touched the technological centers, and what does that mean at the 4 high schools? We need vocational systems. You know that, and I know that not everyone is geared towards a college degree, quote, college degree. Some of the people I've known that have been very successful in life went through that word we call sharp back then. And we need to put those kids that can do it to do it, working with their hands. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Hubbard?
Charlie, I like you, right? When you show me that time expired card, you might have to pull me away from this microphone because... Okay. Let me say that I believe children can learn anywhere. I believe our district has proven they can teach children anywhere. However, when you visit our schools, I've been on the facilities committee for the past 4 years. I've visited our schools, I've met with the facilities manager and go through the list of the school's needs, not wants, needs. And I listen to what those are, and I see how much we have to spend on that. And I say, oh, well, can't do that, can't do that, no, we'll just have to, can't do that. The needs we had were $500 million. We are not coming asking for a bond referendum for $500 million, but that is what we need. That doesn't even include a new high school, I don't think, which we need. But anyway, Charlie, I'm ignoring you. Our needs are greater than we're even asking for. We can put a couple trailers in some other places, because schools, there aren't room for a lot of trailers. But we can try and add a couple more, that's fine. The schools where there are already trailers and we put more trailers in, those core areas, lunchrooms, libraries, hallways, they cannot handle any more kids. It is a safety issue. This is more. This is, yes, I am in support of this bond referendum. We need it. This is all about our community and the values. If our schools go down, your property value is going down, you won't be able to sell your house because nobody's going to want to move here. I am in favor of the athletic center just because I do believe that physical fitness is an important part of a person's well-being, and I am in favor. I will vote yes for that.
Thank you. Mr. Blake?
I did very good, didn't I?
There's not too much more I can add on to what Lisa said. But I'm going to tell you a little something that I think of. I think of the bond referendum. I support it. Anything that has to do with children, I support it 100%. But I think a lot of times we don't think about how did we get to where we are today? Did our parents pay? How did we get through high school? How did we get through elementary school? We didn't do it on our own. I bet our parents paid for it. And they did whatever it took. Whatever it took, that's what they did. They made sure that we had ourselves taken care of. Now it's our turn. And here we're saying, oh, we don't want to pass this bond referendum because our taxes go up. Sure they're going to go up. They're going to go up whether you pass it or not. That's the way it is. Let's be frank with this thing. That's the way it is. But we want our children to be reading on the right level. We want them to have a good education. But we're not going to support you. You have to do it on your own. We're not going to support you at all. We just put you any place. We got all these kids coming. And yesterday I was reading in the paper where they said, I know you did too, you read it too, where it said that Somerville is one of the best towns to retire in. How many more people are going to come for that? I have no idea, but there'll be thousands of them. And when they come, they're going to bring their grandkids. They're going to bring them all. And when they come, they're going to be looking for a place. And we're going to sit right here, and we're going to have to just move over to the side and let them push us away. And I've been there all my life, and I'll move over a little bit more, but not too much more. But I'll pay for that bond referendum. I'll pay for that because I think it's worth it. And as far as the aquatic center, if you have it, that's fine. If you don't have it, that's fine too. And that's how I feel personally. Thank you.
Mr. Clark?
Well, after Pastor Blake, Pastor Blake.
Yes, right. Take up
Take up the collection. But I'll tell you what, Harry, I agree with you. I like what Bill Hearn said earlier about you patch a tooth long enough, soon enough before long, you're going to end up having to have a root canal. Well, I'll tell you what, we're past the root canal stage. And I'm here to tell you, just like when we wired, I helped wire Alston Middle School myself a couple of years ago. And I was up there with a star drill pounding away through something, you know. And that's just what we're used to doing. And then we make up euphemisms about trailers. You know, we call them learning cottages. You know, come on. You know, get real. And besides that, it's a bad waste of space because the state fire codes, you can only put those learning cottages so close together. You know, just like if you have a classroom, man, you get that cinder block wall and there you are. it's a bad use of space. I went out to Knightsville the other day, and there's all kind of trailers out there. And the other thing is, yeah, learning cottages. Yeah, the other thing is, Nancy, you got me off. Oh, the aquatic center. I'm not in favor of that. It's a luxury, and I'm worried that tagging that on is gonna take away from the focus on what we really need, which is classroom space, desperately need. And what I was going to say, just one more second, when the space starts to take away from instructional time, as it does, when you have to march your kids a quarter of a mile away just to go to the bathroom, or where the cafeteria is so small that you know, third grade kids have to eat lunch at 9:55 and they have 14 minutes of lunch. It's just not a good thing. So yeah, I support it.
Thank you. Ms. Crosby?
I am in favor of the bond referendum 100%. Having been a teacher for 30 years, believe me, I know the needs. I've walked in those shoes. I live those lives. The learning cottages, that we call them, I can remember being out in the back 40, and on rainy days, you just take your shoes off and roll your pants legs up and you tread on in, or you might carry your child through the water if he's sick or whatever. And that's the way it was, and every time you had to go to the bathroom. This was over in Berkeley County, because I taught in Berkeley County. Same difference here, though. If the learning cottages are out there. Do you understand that it costs $100,000 to purchase, set up, and make a learning cottage safe? So, if the bond referendum does not pass, we're going to have a lot more learning cottages.
Exactly.
And it's going to cost a lot more money. And as you said, mobile homes depreciate. Learning cottages depreciate. Another major factor is safety. If we were to have an earthquake, those children cannot get out of those mobiles and get into that building, because you have to get the rule is you have to get inside on the inside, squat down, cover your head, all that. That can't be done in the amount of time that you have to get them in there. A tornado, which this is not Tornado Alley, but you know, the weather the way it is anymore, we don't ever know what's going to happen. There is no way. I can remember when I took did my second master's in school administration, one of the #1 questions on the praxis when I took it was, in school administration, was what is the most important thing in education to worry about? And it was safety. We have to worry about the safety of our children, whether it be in the schools or whatever, but mainly those learning cottages need to go. The pool, the aquatic center. I think that would be an absolute wonderful thing to have here in Dorchester County. I live here. My tax dollars go for the things here too. I've had my children and my grandchildren who graduated from Somerville High School, and I'm all for it, but just not right now. I just think that right now we have just got to focus on these children and where to put them. And it's not that I'm against it, I'm just not for it right now.
Thank you. Well, I think our time is about up for this race, and we want to make sure we hear from the referendum folks. So I'm going to ask you, maybe we can wrap one of these questions into your closing statements. And I think we're going to start with Mr. Farnsworth, because I think that's where we have stopped off. But one of the reader questions that came in is, besides the standard answer of it's for the future of our children, what is your real motivation for wanting to be a DD2 school board member? And maybe you can kind of try to touch on that in your closing statement.
Sure. Well, I want to say thank you again to Ellen and the Chamber, really everyone for being here tonight. It's important, and I'm glad to see so many folks out getting the information and really learning about the candidates, because it is important. The future of our children, the future of our education is important, so I want to say thank you for that. My motivation, and I touched on it a lot earlier, I'm just a regular guy. I'm a normal guy. I've never run for political office. I'll be honest, I've wanted to do this for a few years. My wife Jessica is a teacher, so I've seen kind of the background of the education system, and now especially having children. I've got a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old, so having children in our school district is my motivation. Absolutely, I have that long-term vested interest in our school district to make sure that we're not only good, but we're great, and then we're world class. And not just for today and tomorrow, I want it for years to come. 15 years, 20 years from now, I want to set a vision for a world class school district. Like I said, I think it's important. I honestly believe the school board needs the next generation of leadership. If we're going to get to world class, We've got to have some folks that can think outside the box, that can bring some fresh energy and some new ideas. We've got to have it. We've got to have people that can work through all levels of our government. I'm your guy. My name is Justin Farnsworth, and I sincerely appreciate your vote and your support on November 6th. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Smith?
Ellen, I want to say y'all put on a good program, you and the Chamber of Commerce, and of course, you, the citizens of District 2. My motivation, wow, I can remember when I was a little 6-year-old, yes, I can remember that. And I had these bright eyes. And my mom and my daddy was telling me that you were going to school and you were going to learn all kinds of things, reading, writing. But most importantly, you better pay attention to that teacher, because what she say is going to do. Whether you right or wrong, the teacher's right. I've raised my kids, Julia and I, we raised kids. We have 9 grandkids going through this system. With our blended family, we realize that education is very important. Without education, life just is not very sweet. And I want to pass that on. I have a strong, strong desire to pass that on. And to be part of this world-class system here at Dorchester District 2, it makes me proud that I have an opportunity to work within it. Now I'm going back to the bond issue. The bond issue say we will have vocational technological centers in the high schools. We will upgrade our infrastructure, and we will do a lot of things. I just want to be part of it. It's a passion. Vote for Lewis L. Smith, November 6th for School Board, District 2. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Tucker?
I do this and want to continue to do this because there is no greater feeling than when you go to one of the board meetings or you go to the school and you see the great things that our teachers are accomplishing. It is awesome. I have been here for over 40 years. God willing, I will be here for the next 40. I'm committed to Somerville and I'm committed to the students here. They deserve an education that prepares them after they graduate with the skills so they can be productive citizens, earn their own living. Yay, parents, don't all let that happen. Go to college. They need to be prepared to compete. I want to use my parental experience, my volunteer experience, my working as a small business owner, and my board experience to continue to make the best decisions for every child who comes to us to be educated.
Thank you. Mr. Blake?
Yes, this is the part I'm waiting on. The last part to get out of here. You know, I've been here most of my life. I would say most of my life, like all of my life. And I was here when there was 6,000 students, not in Somerville, and Dorchester County. So I've seen that 6,000 turn to 24,000 just in our district right here. And I feel good about that because I was one of those students. And anytime you have something to do with students and achievements, I want to be right there with them. I've been coaching for 17 years for girls' softball team. That's a volunteer. Even when my daughters couldn't play, I was still a coach. Basketball, I coached them basketball. I even coach football, anything, track, anything that has to do with children. That's what I'm for. And if I can teach them something about being a respectful citizen, that's what I want to do. Now, I've always been involved in a lot of things. Some of the things I've been in is like the advisory board for the South Coast Community Bank. I'm on that board. I was on the District Dorchester 2 School Board for 8 years. Community advisor for Somerville Medical Center, Fort Dorchester High School Guidance Advisory Committee. I was a member of the Chamber of Commerce at one time, a member of the Exchange Club, I'm a member of Bethel AME Church, where I serve on several boards, trustee board, usher board, senior choir, men's choir, Sons of Allen. I've been a past master for Ashley River Lodge. So I've been around doing a lot of things. I don't keep still. And I still have a job that I worked at for 31 years. And I am really surprised that I wasn't reelected, but I'm glad I didn't because I learned so much about myself in the last 2 years that I wasn't on the board. I learned so much about myself and the people. If I need something done, I go to Allison and the school district. Thank you. I don't like you, Charlie.
He's not a popular guy tonight. Thank you, Mr.
I've got some strange looks, you're right.
Let me tell you why I'd like to run, or why I am running, I'd like to serve. I want to pay it forward. District 2's been awfully good to me. I've had a great career here. I love living in Somerville. I'm not from here. We've been here since 1979, and I had no idea that we'd stay here this long. These guys have heard me say this before, but it turned out to be such a great place to live, such a great place to have a career, such a great place to raise my children and educate my children and to prepare them for their lives. I want to pay that forward to children in the future. You know, and I guess, Justin, if you'll help me off the days after we're finished, but being old sometimes is an advantage. You know, experience does count. And I think from my set of experiences, as long as they might be, you know,
We'll get you a cake.
been able to collaborate and work with a lot of different people across the community, not just in Alston community, but across the Dorchester District too, across the county. I know folks, I serve on the workforce committee with the chamber. I know the legislators, Jenny Horn, I know our senators, I know our councilmen, and I network well with those folks. And I network, I think, effectively with those people, and we were able to network with those folks in a lot of different situations to help the schools in the school district. You know, I know the challenges of Dorchester too. We talked about money's a problem. It is. It's always going to be a problem. So that's just what it is. But I know the challenges, and I know the language. The learning curve is going to be pretty short if I'm able to serve on the board. And I'd just like to be able to serve you, keep an eye on your finances at the district level, and to help us develop the school district into an even better school district than it is right now.
Thank you. Ms. Crosby?
Perfect.
4 years ago, when I was elected to this position, I took my position very seriously. I've had 100% attendance since I've been on the school board, and I've enjoyed it. I've learned more than I thought I knew. Even though I've been in administration in school and I've been a teacher, there was still a lot to learn. There's still a lot more to learn. Dorchester 2 has done a lot in the last 4 years as a board. Our board, we've put high school, teacher in a high school to help children that can't read to become better readers. We've put an administrator in each high school to be in charge of at-risk students to help to follow them and be sure if they're slacking or if they're falling back that we can catch them early enough that we can help them and support them. One thing you might not realize that children, if they drop out, if a child can't read, he fails, and if he fails, he drops out. And right now, it costs the state $98 million to keep up with a classroom full of dropouts. 50-year lifetime, that adds up to about $5 billion is what it's costing the taxpayer for a classroom of dropouts. That's a lot of money. You ask, why do I want to run for the school board? Well, I'm already on here, have loved every minute of it, and would like to continue to serve you. One of the things that have stood out to me and that I'd like to say is that I feel like that I have the experience, I've got the education, and I have the knowledge in the field of education, more so than anybody else on this board except for Mr. Sam here. And I have grown in these last 4 years, and I've proven to you that I have the integrity and the respect and the motivation to continue to serve you. And that's what I'd like to do because I care about the children and families of Dorchester too. And I will continue to serve them to the best of my ability. I have always been there. I take calls. I'm more than happy to do it. I'm willing to help. I'm always a good listener. I listen because we work together and we reach consensus. Everybody has their own opinion. But this board has really worked together. We've made some good accomplishments. Our graduation rate has gone from 62% to 75%, where the state average is only 49%. More dollars are reaching the kids here in Dorchester too. 66% of the money is reaching the kids here, where in the state it's only 40%. Thank you for having us.
Good closing. Mr. DuBose?
I guess I would was born to serve, I guess. I served my country as a U.S. Air Force veteran, and for the last 4 years, I have served my community as a volunteer in our schools. I have served on PTA boards, state level, district level, and local level. We have done so much stuff for our local community and our local schools and for our children than you could ever imagine. And it has been the most rewarding thing I think I've ever done in my whole life. To see these kids out in public and they say, "Hey, Mr. Dave, how you doing?" And to know that you've touched their lives in so many different ways. You've given them an ear to bend. You've listened to their stories. You've heard their problems. You've tried to give them the best solution to their problems and just be there to listen. So I guess I'm meant to serve, and I want to serve on a school board so that I can do something in an official level to help our children do what they know they need to do, and I can help make decisions to make that easier for them to do. Thank you very much for having us. My name's David Dubose, and I appreciate your support next Tuesday.
Thank you. Let's give them all a round of applause.